The story begins in flashback mode as a young Norman Osborn hides in the shadows of his house, bracing for another beating from his father. Suddenly, Amberson Osborn is transported into present-day Asgard, which is currently under siege by Norman Osborn and his Dark Avengers. Amberson watches in horror as his son uses the Infinity Gauntlet to kill the Avengers and Asgardians with incredible ease. As the Dark Avengers walk victoriously through the carnage, Osborn snaps his fingers, causing the Dark Avengers to disappear, and he and his father are alone floating on a rock in outer space. Amberson is in disbelief that this man is his son for multiple reasons, but mostly because he cannot believe that his scared and weak son could ever achieve such success. Norman takes Amberson to the throne city of his new Osborn Empire, formerly New York City. Goblin insignias adorn the skyscrapers of a city that has replaced the Statue of Liberty with a statue of Osborn. He explains how he achieved world dominance. In short, used his resources to research the Infinity Gauntlet, then he rallied an army of villains to collect the gems. After he assembled the gauntlet, it didn't take long for the Goblin King. I'm serious. There's a panel with a hulked-out Green Goblin slaying the Avengers to conquer the world. Amberson is not impressed by his son's accomplishments. In fact, it makes him downright angry. Suddenly, Amberson and his son find themselves atop the Brooklyn Bridge, watching Gwen Stacy fall to her death. Norman explains to his father that having his arch-enemy, Spidey of course, continually relive the worst moment of his life is the true pinnacle of success. Amberson is ashamed by his son's actions and calls him monster. Unable to deal with his father's criticisms, Norman snaps his fingers, and his father's demeanor changes immediately, and he gives Norman a big hug. The two return to Osborn's kingdom, only to find that all the Dark Avengers had been killed. Thanos then appears, demanding Norman hand back the Infinity Gauntlet to its rightful owner. Osborn, of course, does not back down as he morphs into the Goblin King. As Thanos and the Goblin King exchange blows and roasts Thanos into a charred corpse, Norman turns his anger toward his father, demanding to know why his father loves him. Unsatisfied with his father's response, which was, "Because you're my son," Norman erases his father from existence with Gauntlet. Unfortunately for Norman, erasing his father from existence of all time and space means that he never existed either. Suddenly, Norman fades away, and the Gauntlet floats off into the ether of space.